بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونشكره ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praises and adoration belongs to Allah, the Lord of incomparable and inexhaustible majesty. We beseech Allah to shower His blessing and His mercy on the noblest of mankind, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, His household, His companion, His relatives, and those who follow the virtues of His teaching to the day of accountability. We thank Allah for giving us today as privilege. Whoever Allah guides apart, nobody can lead such astray, and whoever Allah leads astray, nobody can put him aside. Inshallah, today we extrain or discussing a very vital topic, which is time management. If you look at this topic very vividly, you will come to realize that the topic is very all-encompassing. It's a topic that stands the test of time. Time management. In life, it entails or comprises phases. We have the morning, afternoon phase, and the night phase. And this morning, afternoon, and night, we're talking about, according to the scientists, light can be trapped in the vacuum. Particles can be trapped. X-ray, gamma ray, beta ray, all these particles can be stopped, can be trapped. But when it comes to time, time can be trapped. It can be stopped. Time is not reversible. Nobody can draw back time. The time is in transition. It's either you flow with the time or you drop down. It's more or less like a moving train. When the train moves, the passengers are carried along. And that once you are out of your time, you drop. You drop from the moving train, and you are no more part of that transition. The time is very germane in our lives. And the time we're talking about as well, it's more or less like the determinant factor for everything in this life. There's nothing we want to engage in without involvement of time, involvement of date, involvement of period. We have to fix date, we have to fix time, we have to make it time bound, because time is very key and germane in our life. And this is what determines the morning, afternoon, and night. First and foremost, we need to define what time is and what management is. What do we understand by time? Time can be defined technically as period or duration or moment with which an event takes place, which determine the cause of the periodic change towards the movement of time. over an event. When there's an event or happening, this happening or event attached to a time. And the time we took in question, we determine the starting point of such thing to its end point. For example, every human being has a point in time. The time from the birth till death. Everything in this world has lifespan. The time of existence to the time of death or expired date. Time can also be referred to as date or appointment or lifespan or period or duration. For example, we have time for everything in this life. For example, we have the raining time, we have the harmattan time, we have the winter time, we have the time for every event that happens in life. We can infer that time is life. Time, its lifespan. Even according to the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referred to Adar, time. Allah said that man should not abuse time. Wa anna dahar uqallibu layla wan nahara. He said, don't abuse time because I am time. I alternate in days and nights. I determine what happens to you. At times we have times that you are happy. We have at times that you are sad. We have at times that you are joyful. All of this time, that will make us to look at the features of time. Time changes. Time permanently change. So, as a result of this feature of time, changes is bound to happen to you. And you need to prepare for these changes as a result of time. You change from the day you are born to the day you will die. Whatsoever condition you have, it will not remain same. It will change one day. You should bear this at the back of your mind, because time is changing day in, day out. It's not static. You are not static as well, because you are bound to change, because your life is determined by time factor. The second feature is that time is very valuable. It's priceless. It's valuable in the sense that no materials, no money can be shortchanged with time, can be exchanged with time. Time is valuable. It's very expensive. There's nothing you can do to compensate time lost. You can't afford to miss time, because once the time is missed, you cannot in any way, by any means, compensate it. That is why you don't toy with it. You don't joke with it. It's very valuable. It's very, very essential and significant in our life. It's a cornerstone features. We don't toy with it. Everything you want to do, prioritize it. Plan it according to the time at hand, because you might not have the opportunity again to pursue it. So therefore, it's very valuable, and we attach value to our time. Third feature about time is that time is irreversible. Time cannot be tracked back. Whenever you engage in any action or any routine, that routine is forgone. You can't reverse the time any longer. That is why most often Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to this in the Quran, where the non-believers, by the time they realize that, alas, they realize that it's over for them, they will request and demand for second chance. They will say, Rabbi rji'un la'alli amila salihah. Say, oh Allah, return me, let me go back so that I will engage in the righteous deeds. But it's over. The time has expired. It's not reversible. You can play it back. That is why it's very essential for each and every one of us to ensure that the time at our disposal judiciously and mannerly used well, so that in the long run we don't have ourselves to be blamed. We don't say, if I had known, had I know, I would have done this, I have done that. This should be what is expected of me. So you should do it right now, because that time cannot be recovered any longer. At the same time, time is seasonal and ephemeral. When you say something is very seasonal and ephemeral, it means it has its timing elapses. It's the time elapsed. The time is seasonal. When something is very seasonal, for example, we have the rainy season, we have the harmattan, we have the dry season, and what have you. And once a season comes and the season is over, it's going to take another periodic year or another 10 to witness that season. So time is seasonal as well. That is why you should know. For example, now, if during rainy season, what is relevant then is raincoat and umbrella. So, for example, now, when the rainy season is no more, usage of umbrella or raincoat is irrelevant. So, seasonal and ephemeral in all our deeds and action should be placed on scale of preference. Now, which action is in vogue now? Which date is in vogue? Which one should I do that will raise me, that will add value to me? For example, during Ramadan, any Muslim who witnessed Laylatul Qadr, the night of majesty, who engaged in worship during this night, who did a lot of meritorious acts, will be entitled to reward equivalent to over 1,000 months, which invariably can't be seen in every other month of the year. So therefore, you should take note of this and apply it in your daily routine, your monthly routine, your weekly routine, your annual routine, so that you should place priorities on those actions that flows with the seasonal changes of time. Based on flimsy excuse, I didn't do the salat. You know that it has a specific time. Although I will still need to pay the salat, but not at a specific time. And this, by the nature of the reward attached to that salah at that time is 27. But for the fact that I failed to do it at the right time, at the specific time, my reward will be reduced to one. One out of 27. Look at the measurement. I failed. The same thing goes with Eid al-Fitr. During Eid al-Fitr, we're supposed to do the Zakat al-Fitr before we go for Eid. Anyone that failed to do it before the Eid period is regarded to be sadaqah alone. It's sadaqah. Such person will not have reward for Zakat al-Fitr. So specification and measurement is one of the characteristics of time in our life. So we need to be very, very careful when it comes to doing things at the right time and trying to place measure on all our days. Natural is not artificial. Although people influence or alter things that are artificial. For example, we have some time people can change their nature. They can bleach. We can affect natural things, but we can't affect time. Time is different. Nothing can stop it. Nothing can influence it. It's not like every other natural thing. So it's not man-made thing. So therefore, there's no how you can affect time. But the time will affect you. The time will have effect on your life. That is why it's very germane that you should be natural in anything you do. You should. There are a lot of things that naturally flow with time. There are times you need to go to bed to sleep. There are times you need to go to work. There are times you need to relax. There are times you need to, plan for your life. There are times everything has time. But other things, they are natural. There are times you need to get married. There are times you need to start bearing children. There are times you need to grow old. There are times you need to leave this world to the next life. All of this has natural time, and this natural time will definitely happen. Nobody can change it, but it's now left to you to flow alongside with this natural trend that Almighty Allah has created us with. Let's say that La tabdila min khalqillah. Nothing can change the creation of Allah, which is the time. So, my brothers and sisters, know the right thing at the right time. Do the right thing at the right time. Do not procrastinate. By postponement or procrastinating is going to ask a kind of negative feedback on your life, because time is natural, and anything is natural, it goes the way it's been created. It is now left you to plan yourself according to this natural trend. Another thing you need to understand about time is that time is specific and measurable. It's specific and measurable. You look at it very well. Specification that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed with time. For example, look at the salawat, the prayer we do on daily basis. Subhi, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. It's naturally specified with time. During the Hajj, you need to go for Hajj, for pilgrimage, is specific. Humrah is specific. So, time specification should be understood. This is what we assist you to prioritize your activities, your routine, your schedule. That what am I supposed to do now? What I'm doing now, is it the right thing I'm supposed to do or not? So when you understand the specification, that will enable you to know doing things the way they ought to be done. And we allow you to measure yourself, to evaluate. So time is one of the features of time, is you'll be able to measure it as appropriate. So it's specific and measurable. For example, now, if I know that early in the morning, I'm supposed to observe Subahi. When I wake up in the morning, I didn't do it. And perhaps